Morning, everybody.
Morning, Carol. Morning, everyone.
Look, there's Rene, there's Effie, and there's Sure. Good morning, everybody. Good to see everybody. And we want to say hello to our YouTube audience and thank you for joining us in the sacred energy of Circle this morning. Today, you're going to be able to watch our evidential mediums as they connect with people who have crossed over to the other side and deliver messages from those people. And our hope is that by watching our mediums at work, you'll come to understand that the loved ones that you may have lost are in fact still with you. So please join us as we open with a prayer. Holy Father, Mother God, thank you for allowing us to come together today in service of spirit. Please help us to open all of our senses, physical and spiritual, so that we can receive your messages without interference from our own minds. We humbly ask that you make the circle an uplifting and joyous experience for everyone in attendance. Please ask the spirits who recognize the voices in this room to join us this morning so that we will know that they watch over us, love us, and protect us still. And please allow us to deliver the information presented by Spirit with grace and compassion, in complete trust and respect of your infinite wisdom. Amen. All right, so we have 4 mediums today. So how about if we do 10-minute readings and then that gives us time to discuss the readings, if that works. Okay, all right. Whenever anybody gets a link, just jump on in there.
I can start us off.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Since this is Memorial Day weekend, I asked for a veteran to come in, and I'm being presented with a man that's tall and very good looking. He's shown me being in a Veterans Day parade. He's also shown me that the sitter has a picture of him in a frame that she looks at often. This man's hair is cut short. I think at times he wore glasses, but I don't feel like he wore them all the time. They were like on and off. He was well known in his community. He was always willing to help, always lend a helping hand. He's talking about a brother that he was close with, and he's talking about his military service. He's actually saluting the flag. I'm going to stop there and see if anybody understands any of this.
I'm listening, Rene.
Is that
Effie?
Effie? Okay. What would you understand so far, Effie?
I understand about 75% of the information.
Okay.
I don't know about a brother. I didn't know his siblings.
Okay. Let me continue with him, and may I continue with you?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. This man was real laid back. He didn't like confrontation. He was very kind. He's shown me an outdoor side to him, and he's talking about trees. There's a specific tree that he liked. It feels like it was a tree that either produced nuts or fruit. Would you understand this about him?
No.
No.
I understand the trees.
You do?
Had something on them, but not his personality.
Okay. When this man served, he was around water. Would you understand this?
No.
No? Okay. Because he showed me at some point, it may have been an R&R where he came into a port, traveled by boat. He's talking about traveling by boat, going over water and coming
I
into.
understand that.
Okay.
That
You
I
understand
understand.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. He's talking about that. As I say that, he says he's talking about water under the bridge. He's talking about a strained relationship around you that sometimes we just need to let these things go. And he's talking about water under the bridge. He's like, once that water passes under the bridge, there's no return.
Yeah, so I can take that.
Okay. So he's talking about healing for that situation.
Yes.
Okay. Um, huh. He's actually showing me a sailboat, showing you in a sailboat just sailing away, just letting it all go, just the wind pushing the sails and just pushing you ahead. Um, he said you're beyond all of this. You're not into the chaos. You're not into drama. Um, just let it go because it can do more damage if you hold on to it. He's also given me the month of October as significant. Would you understand that? This could be
Yes.
okay. He's going back to the days when he was in the military and he's showing cleaning his gun, taking it apart. And he's saying sometimes in life we need to go back to the basics and basically start cleaning house and let go of things that um, we no longer need to hold on to. This can also be emotional, is what he's saying,
Yeah.
and just letting it go. Because he said when you clean a gun and you put it back, it fires better. And he's saying you will also fire better. I like all his analogies here that he's given. Um, and I can also feel like this is in your work, um, day-to-day work about being more focused, being more understanding of the situation. Um, taking an overall view of everything and putting things back into perspective. Um, he's also showing me oars, either like for a small boat of some type or canoe or kayak. I don't know if you have one or he had one, but he's talking about um getting out on a boat and relaxing. Would you understand that at all?
Ocean of kayak, yes.
Okay. Like he's talking about that. He said sometimes you just need to get back to nature. Um,
Mhm.
just letting everything go, just becoming a part of nature. Um, not letting things bother you. Um, for some reason he's bringing up Niagara Falls. I don't know if you've visited Niagara Falls or you're planning on visiting Niagara Falls, but he's bringing up Niagara Falls as some type of information that is important. Would you understand Niagara Falls around you?
It's Niagara Falls is close to me.
Okay. Okay. Um, he's talking about the power of the water, how massive this water is. And he's talking about you being a powerful woman, um, just taking your stand in all aspects of life, moving forward, taking the next step forward. Um, like the water has such force. He said, without all this baggage, you have the force. You're such a strong woman. He's standing right behind you. Um, he's showing in the boat with the oars, just paddling away, paddling super fast. And he said, you have the strength. You have the stamina. You have the understanding. Um, he said, it's your time to shine. Um, don't be afraid to be a beacon in this world. Continue to shine your light. Continue to be proud. Stand up strong for what you believe. Be the woman that you were created to be. put a smile on that put a smile on that face and step forward. And with that, I'm going to leave him with your love and light and thank him for coming in and thank you for taking his message.
Thank you, Rene. Oh, so he was very proud of his military service. And there is a picture of him. I haven't seen it in a while in his military uniform that I used to look at. And there is a kayak I have that is up in nature that I can understand him saying to be out there. And I totally understand being very busy and focused and not being powerful or strong, but just balancing is very big in my life. Being very balanced and getting back out into nature and really resetting. I could totally understand his message. He's very proud. He took the boat over. He immigrated from his country to come here, which is in Canada, close to us. So but his heart and soul was in his home country.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
And what about that message? It's your time to shine.
No, no comments. No.
We'll talk more about that. But
I'm a shine girl.
Okay. So, wow, that was obviously, Rene, so interesting to watch. Okay. But what I wanted to ask you about was your very first statement. Okay. Where you said, I asked for a veteran to come in. Okay. And son of a gun, you bring this man in who Effie says his military experience was very important to him. So my question for you is, how did you manage to make that happen? Have a veteran come in when you ask for a veteran. How's that work?
When we were meditating, that was my intention, that a veteran or someone that loved his country and served would come through. And as long as you show up for spirit, spirit will show up for you, and they usually follow through with your intentions.
Well, for the people who are not familiar with the idea of intention, what does that mean?
A thought of what you would like to work with. A person that had military background was what I was expecting. Since this is Memorial Day weekend, I thought it would be nice to honor somebody that was in the military and had a love for their country.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll kick it over to Shore then. What about you? Have you ever tried to do what she just did there, Shore, set, quote, an intention to bring somebody in and have that happen?
I'm sure it must have.
Okay. So how's that work from your perspective then?
Yeah, as Rene said, this vibration that you send out returns from the spirit with your desires fulfilled. It's yeah, I'm not sure which way to put it, which other way to put it, because Rene said it so eloquently.
Lord, thank you.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
really,
what you ask when you show up for the spirit show up for you.
Okay.
So spirits are always around. They're always listening. They're always tuned in. It's a matter of when you tune into them.
Boy, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a really good point right there. Okay. I might have to hang on to that one. Okay. Well, what about you, Effie? Okay, have you ever tried to do this thing where she's talking about setting the intention for a specific person to come in and that happens?
I was going to say, really, his picture has been up on my wall. I just took it down last night because I stare at it a lot. This loved one of mine, and I'm using it tomorrow for a practice, a development session up
Oh,
north as part of the program. But
wow.
yeah, so intuition. So it's funny because I actually took his exact picture down for them to tune into.
Wow. And what was his
So I do stare at
relationship
it
to
every
you?
day. I want to say that.
Wow. What was his
Uh,
relationship to you?
my grandfather,
Okay, I thought
my
it was my
grandfather.
brother or father. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So your intention, I haven't. See, I've been the way my style is to surrender, and whoever comes in is supposed to come in for the sitter. I have
Okay,
no
good.
control. Uh, and it may not be the person that we want to hear. It may not be the person we want to hear, but it's the person that we need to hear from. I can
Mm.
share my grandfather was very, very disciplined and very strong ethically and morally. And that's one of the reasons I am who I am today. It's because of my grandparents. But he was also loved nature, and he wouldn't have 2 or 3 or 4 jobs. That would not be my grandfather. He would be very much loving to be outdoors and spending quality time with his family. If I put the intention, eventually they do come in, Carol. I find at the very end, but I just surrender. Whoever comes in is the person that's supposed to come in for the recipient today. Because if I put the intention, my mind frame is I'm taking control
Hmm.
of the story and I'm
Hmm.
asking questions. So surrender and release, and whoever comes in is supposed to come in for that person today.
Okay. All right. And I'll throw my 2 cents in on that. And I'm kind of yeah, I understand what Effie is saying because I agree that yes, whoever is meant to come in will come in. But I've actually had situations where, I've asked my sitter, who is it that you would like to hear from? And I tell them right up, I said, that person may not come through to me because I'm the wrong medium for them. Okay. Because in my experience, if spirit does not feel that the medium's going to do a good job for them, they're not going to talk to that medium. Okay. And my specific example of that is that I am never successful in bringing in people who have drug problems. Just can't do it because I can't do a good job of communicating that situation.
Curious. Do you have a lot of loved ones who have addictions,
No.
who have gone through?
Mm-mm.
Because they only bring through what we know. They will use our mindset, our
Correct.
tool set from everything from the day we were born, whether we're watching it on TV, whether we read it in a book. But the more experiences, the more exposure you have out in the real world where we are today, they can use that. But if we don't have a lot of exposure to addictions.
Yes, exactly. And that is why I am the wrong medium for people who are looking for those kind of people. Okay, now there are other mediums out there who have experience with that and they'll do a great job of it. But what happens to me, going back to when Rene's talking about setting the intention or, trying to make something specifically happen in mediumship, I'll tell my sitter, you know, I'll go out there and I will ask if that person's available to come in. But sometimes spirit will make that decision for me and send somebody else. Okay. Sometimes I am successful in getting that person is in because that person has an important message that they need to deliver. Okay. But ultimately, and I'm with Effie on this, that's up to spirit, to make that happen. And going back to what Rene said, Rene made her intention pretty broad. She said, a veteran. All right, there are a lot of them out there. Okay, but she didn't specifically say, you know, I want, a veteran of, Carol's father or something like this to come in. That's not what she said. She made it a broader request, and that's what happened. So, all right,
It's one thing that can be done
go
if
ahead.
if you don't have experience in that area, like the drugs. And some mediums do that too. If they want to strengthen their ability or connecting with those souls, watch some movies with that kind of theme. And it really, if you indulge in those movies and really absorb the feelings in the movie that are being depicted,
Ugh.
you can actually open up the door to get those souls as well.
That's actually a very good thought, but then the flip side to that is I don't even know that I want to go down that road because I'm such a a happy person, and that's such a dark subject. I don't know I want to go down that road, but it's good advice, sure. So thanks for bringing it up. Oh, and I see Sage has come onto the session. Hi, baby. How are you? Wonderful. All right, Effie or Shore, who would like to go next?
Did you want to go ahead, Effie? Oh, okay. No, I'm not ready either.
Well, you know what they say, just start talking and,
Right.
spirit will pop right in there.
Okay. Yeah, again, yeah, they're tuned into me, but I have to tune into them. Well, I have a grandma here. She's in her older years. She has lived, she lived her life to the fullest. No regrets. Whatever she wanted to do, she was able to. But the end, she chose the life of solitude. I feel Grandpa was already gone, um, and she would spend quite a bit, quite a bit of time by herself. I feel I am in a just a simple room. That's my life now, and possessions are very minimal because she was very practical lady. Anything that was very precious to her, they were in a small box. That's it. Uh, so not that that's the way she was in her younger years. It feels like she was a very busy lady, a very popular too. So who can understand this lady?
I am listening to this.
Oh,
So is
okay.
Effie.
Okay, great. Uh, Grandpa was also, I kind of feel very old-fashioned. I'm kind of seeing him. He is not too tall, but he's a very not too slim, but he's perfect in terms of body shape. Not fat, not too thin. That's the way he liked it. Busy. Uh, yeah, I feel my whole life was kind of regimented, busy most of the time. But that didn't bother me because after retirement, I found my peace as well, and quiet, peace and quiet. And I'm happy just reminiscing the life that I lived, which was very fruitful, meaningful. So who can resonate with that?
You were talking about grandfather saying that?
Yes, so I'm saying grandfather as well. Yeah.
Okay. I cannot take that for grandfather.
Okay. Uh,
What about you, Effie?
Easter grandmother, and then grandfather said what he was very fruitful, lived his life fully.
yes. So I'm not sure if they are
Sort of.
connected. They may be
I can still, yeah,
one
I'm still here.
maternal,
Yeah,
one paternal.
yeah.
Okay. Would this gentleman be paternal side?
It
And
depends. They're both my grandfathers were like that.
okay, all right. Yeah, so fulfillment, that's the key. It's not the treasure that you accumulate, it's the fulfillment in your life of what you want to do, what you have accomplished, is the key to the happiness and satisfaction of your soul. Um, yeah, both seem like quiet on the quiet side. They're gone quiet. Would you understand that
One
gentleman was
grandfather was
also
quieter than
very
the other.
busy when
He was
when
busy and
younger?
he was busy. Even older, he liked to keep busy.
Okay. I'm kind of sensing something of law, something to do with the law with this gentleman when he was younger. Would that make sense?
Not right now.
Okay, something to do with law, justice. Okay, we'll leave that aside. Hmm. Yeah, it's somehow it feels like there was this gentleman was not able to spend a lot of time with you. It does not seem like there's
Yeah,
a
that's
big
true.
connection. But that does not mean he didn't care. Sometimes out of sight is out of mind. So um, that's what was happening in that time. Switching back to grandma. Yeah, I can't tell you how busy I was in my time, the younger years. There was no time, literally no time for myself. And but again, no regrets. She does not have any regrets. Mm. And I feel that there's a message in there for you, Effie. you are very busy. You are fulfilling your dreams. And that's, you don't have, you have no other motive, really. It's truly to serve the spirit. The money is not something that you are going for. And that's how they were too. When they didn't care about the material things, more of those material things came to them.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I feel that's the message that they both wanna impart to you, and they're happy that you are on the right path. You identified the path. It took a while to get there, but you are doing the service that is much needed in this world. Very selfless, very selfless. So this is you are at another level already, and be proud because they are proud of you.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna stop here, leave you with their love and blessings.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
So my grandparents were very strong, very hard, very working, and they did very simple people. They didn't need a lot in life. But what they earned, financially, what they got, they earned it. And so because they didn't have the mantra of always needing more and more and more came to them. They just dropped on them, it just fell on their lap, and they weren't looking for it. And they had this very much way of working hard, uh, earning a good day's wage, and going home, being with a family. But they were good people at the end. I know they loved us, and and their family was very, very strong. Uh, Regarding devotion, yes, and what I do, dedication, commitment. It's not for the money. But interestingly, when you don't ask, you're taking care. You're always taking care of. It's not the financial need. It's some way or another. You're just taking care of. You have to trust with the Creator. Won't give you what you can't manage, what you can't handle.
Yeah, so true, so true.
Wow. Wow. Great, great reading, sure. But now I have a question for you, and this is funny because like it doesn't have anything to do with the reading as much as what you said again right in the very beginning. Okay, you said I'm not connected and I need to make a connection. And I'm sure that like every beginning medium who's watching this, their little antennas went up and
Yeah.
okay, because they wanted to see what happened. Okay, so from our perspective, there you were, okay, and you said, I am not connected at all, and suddenly you were. What did you do to make that happen?
Yeah, it's just mind frame because before this is not like instant in some ways because I always prepare before the meeting, like meditation, calming my mind, and I can test out whether I'm connected as well while meditating. Just being getting into the different zone during meditation. If you can feel that, then it's always easy to connect on demand in a way.
Okay, that raises more question. What
Oh,
does the zone feel like?
yeah, yeah. This is it's like when everything goes deaf, like you don't hear anything, you're not seeing anything except in your mind's eye. So you're in a totally different zone because you're not thinking about anything, and suddenly you feel there's somebody around.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a different feeling, and everybody, I'm sure, feels differently to see if they're in moved into the different zone or not.
Okay. All right. Well said. Well, what about you, Effie? Okay. Like, can you like do like what he just did there, like not be in the zone, and then all of a sudden there you are in
To
the zone?
tell you how much I've missed practice circles.
Okay.
I have to tell how much I miss this zone, how much I miss this energy, how much I miss being in love of mediums and
Missed you.
practicing. Yeah,
We've missed you.
how much I've missed this. And I was like, almost yearning for it and zesting for it, and just I needed to be back here. It's
Mhm.
how much we need this. My soul needs this to be with people, like-minded tribe. And when I was stepped in here, I was so happy to be here. It's just so happy because being in that zone is everything. This helps us get into that zone. This helps us heal. This helps us hear at other mediums. Even though they may not come to us, we can understand a part of the message or the entire message. Just that zone helps us with my life move after the circle, talking to people, going out there, just being in this beautiful place of love. It is just I get it, sure, that zone. There's so much, my mind is just everywhere these days. And so it takes me a couple of seconds to blend or connect. But when you have practice circles like this, it helps me move back into that place of love and know this is what it's about. It gets me right back to square one. So I want to thank you so much for sharing your insight on this because, you said you couldn't connect and bam, there you were.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, trust plays a big role in that too. Yeah, once you have the trust,
Well said.
There it
and
was.
as
Yeah.
Carol said, just start talking,
Mhm.
and that's what really moves you into the different zone as well. Because you've done it so many times, right? So
Mhm.
you trust, you see, you start seeing something, hearing something, feeling something, and it just starts off from there.
There it
Yes.
Like
goes.
river
Yes.
starts.
All right. Well, let's throw it out to Rene since she's putting up all these emojis here. So, what do you think, Rene? How do you get in the zone like that? Okay. That he's talking about. You go from not
Very
being connected.
easily to me. As soon as the meditation starts, um, I either get a feeling of a person or they show me them or they just start talking. And when I did my first reading today, a gentleman just showed me that he was a veteran. He was talking about a Veteran Day parade and showed me saluting. So it just comes as soon as I'm there. Like I said before, when you show up, spirit shows up. So
Mhm.
it just comes through very easily for me. So I'm
And that's
dedicated
well
to
said.
spirit and I'm appreciative of spirit coming through and helping me.
Okay. And I think you hit the nail on the head too, because I think the more that you do it, the easier it is. And
Yes.
using myself as an example, I practice
Mhm.
every day of the week.
Yeah.
And from my perspective, I think I spend more time in the zone than I spend out of the zone.
Yeah.
Okay. Which can be a little weird. Okay. But like I find myself kind of like distracted by these random spirits who are coming in who to me are kind of like, oh, you're cool, and I want to talk to you. And I have work that needs done. And I have to go, but I can't talk to you because I have work that needs done. And I have to intentionally divert my focus to my work, okay, in order to get out of the zone.
Right. Right.
From my
That's hard
perspective,
because once you get in it, you want to stay in it
you
because
want to stay in it.
yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Because I know, like, one of my teachers, she had asked us, before she took us on as a student, how many times a week do you practice? How many message services do you do? And I said to her, approximately 30 a week. And she said, what? She goes, is this a mistake? Do you mean 3? I said, no, I mean 30. She said, you practice that many times a week? I said, yep, at least 6 days a week, 3 times a day. And
Mhm.
she's like, wow, that's really good. So I feel like that's kind of why spirit comes through easily for me, because they know I'm dedicated. And I think that's with anybody. When you put your foot forth and you go in every day, spirit shows up for you.
Okay. Yeah. Good point. So for, the beginning mediums who are listening to this, the more time you put into it, the easier it's going to become. Okay. So, all right. Well said, folks. All right, Effie, are you feeling it?
Oh, yeah, sure. This is great. So we just took it. It has been a while. So I'm just gonna, like Sure said, I'm not sure if I can connect.
You can do it. You can do it.
So let's see. Oh boy. I do have a pair of a grandma, 2 people come in, a grandmother and also a man. But I'm drawn to Shore and Carol, where I'm near the Himalayan mountains. I'm near in a place where sure your family, your culture, your tribe uh, would come from. And this man very, very much stayed in his country and liked to live in the rural area and very much loved it there. Would this make sense to you?
It, it does. It's just that I don't know much about.
That's not okay. So, but you know this man that I'm talking about. It's not even a. I don't feel it's a grandfather. I don't feel there. It's a tribe. Carol, would you understand this too?
When you said it's not a grandfather, I have to rethink it. So,
Okay, so let's go back to grandfather then.
okay.
Would you understand this? Very much connected to his roots, very much connected to his culture, his faith, and very much needed to be outside of the city. Did not live
Yeah.
in the city. Needed to
Yeah.
be there.
Yeah.
And he needed to be around mountains. He needed to be around trees, the forest, nature
Mhm.
with him was, and this man loved to look. He had a very good geography map of his mind, where he knew things were around his city, around his country, his town.
Mhm.
Where it takes me to a place looks to me like Norfolk or folk country, but that's not the name. But it's just folk and music too, listening to music that was a part of his culture, um, being there. And it was a simple life that this man had.
Right.
Um, would you understand this as your grandfather? Sorry, I did say grandfather. And would you also understand the name of Ed or Edward in your family, a beloved one?
Not in the family. No.
Okay. So this, as your grandfather steps forward, he was also a man of solitude. He liked to be alone. He didn't
Mhm.
need a lot of people around him. And
Mhm.
he would also go out. And I want to say he was a stargazer. He liked to look outside in the nighttime, look up at the stars. And that was one of his favorite things to do.
Yep.
Just being in the quietness and the stillness of the evening. And around him, there would be beautiful lakes, and you could hear the loons in the distance that would come. But
Yeah.
also where he lived, there was images, decoration items of balloons, of birds that were there.
Mhm.
Would you understand this?
Yes.
And as a grandmother also steps forward with his grandfather, there there was a piece of there where they lived was peaceful and solitude, and they found their peace and their harmony in their in this place where they made their home up north, away from the city, away from the traffic, away from cars.
Right.
And as he would walk, he'd walk by himself, and he would like also to sit by himself, and he loved his country. He loved that, and the people knew your grandfather, where he was. If he's not there, he's going to be at certain places, certain locations. Um, where he was, and he loved nature too. He knew bugs, he knew animals, he loved the deers and the moose that were all around him.
Mhm.
And I want to say within the cottage there would be like mosquitoes that would come, and it would be a nuisance, the black flies,
Oh yeah.
and there'd be like a Raid bottle there always, and but to him that was just part of the way it was. And he also loved how family would come up to the cottage, to his place,
Uh,
and having the family and the memories that were there. Now, there's a book at this house that looks like a bird. It's a bird book, and you
yeah.
can open it up and look inside and know the different types of birds.
Yes,
And
there
there's an
was.
old telescope that was there from a long time ago. That's a long, long time ago. The kids would have other family members. You remember that they would stay. Actually, no, it's not there. It's another location. Would it make sense to you? There's a telescope in another house that I want to look at.
I don't remember. Don't remember.
Okay. Now, would you understand that with yourself, wanting to know about outside astronomy, the
Mhm.
stars,
Me?
wanting
Yes.
to, and also having a long time ago a telescope, wanting to look through it, wanting to go deeper into
I
the,
I
the
understand my
galaxy,
wanting to look through the telescope. Yes.
and wanting to also visit places that feels to me like where the NASA is, where the rocket ships go, where there's a space station, wanting just an interest in that. He encourages you to move further in exploring the astronomy and the stars.
Okay.
And in the cottage, there was also a fire, uh,
There
where you can
was.
have a fire,
Yeah.
and it got cold.
Mhm.
And there was outside, you can go and get wood, and there would be like a pile of wood, and each person, or he would just love to also have a fire in the cottage when it got cold, but also have fires outside and just sit around and just have this beautiful scenery of quietness, stillness. And that's where you heard the crickets. That's where you heard the stillness. And he could just stay there and just listen to this beautiful way of life. This grandfather brings me simplicity, but I can't let go of the name Ed. I've heard it 3 times now. Would you understand an Ed living in your life, or an Edward? Ed, Eddie.
There was an Edward on the other side of the family.
Okay, and I just want to make sure this is all the same information. Can you take it for Ed, the same information?
No.
Okay. So just Ed is also on the other side, Carol,
Mm-hmm.
stepping forward with your grandfather. And as your grandmother also steps forward, there would be like these fishing rods at the
Uh-huh.
cottage that were there.
Oh yeah.
And he would go fishing, and he would like to be outside on the canoe just by himself, catching fish, bringing them back. And it's a nice way of living, your grandfather, where he talks about. There was also this rustic way of the house. When you walk in, it's wood, but it's also things that have been there for a long time, but they still go with the decoration of the home. It's you didn't need to buy anything brand new, or and the tea kettle that's there, the same one when you walk in, the same magnets on the fridge. There was a certain magnets that looks to me like butterflies that were there, and old magnets, just old. They kept staying the same. That's how you knew you were in your grandparents' house, just this fabric of simplicity. And as your grandfather steps outside with me and he sits in the fire, he talks to me about tales of the past. He talks to me about just also he could sleep. I feel just the quietness. It's a beautiful way of life. And you could see when it got stormy there, the lightning got very close sometimes to the lake. You could hear it.
Mhm.
And this is like a memory of, oh my God, there's lightning. Everybody's freaking out. But to him, this was beauty. This was part of his living up there. And he comes to you with peace today. He also comes in your heart where you have found peace. And there's moments where you have to go dig deep inside your own heart and how to find the peace with others for that. And it brings you to a place of deep constellation to look at the stars and to forgive them. They don't know any better. Have that peace in your heart, he says, and to move forward. And you can just be on your own, solitude, not having anyone beside you, like your grandfather, and having that peace inside your heart to know that you don't need to recognition from them, just to have this love and this peace and know that you're going to be okay. Thank you, Carol.
Effie, my goodness. Your readings are so lush and beautiful. I don't even know where to start with that. But you had my mother's father, okay, who lived in a rural area of Canada, and there were lakes and trees and nature all over, and 100%, he lived in that area because of the natural beauty. Just loved it. And one of my favorite things was going to visit him. And I'm a morning person. I would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go take a canoe out on the lake just to hear the loons early in the morning, because it was
Oh
so
my God, I
beautiful.
know. That's the cottage for me too. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yes.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
just an incredible,
it
incredible
is for the audience
experience.
members. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but the thing that I really enjoyed about that I have to tell you because it's funny was you said he enjoyed having the family come up and visit. All right. And that was actually a bit of a joke because while he did enjoy having the family come up and visit for the benefit of our YouTube audience, he lived in Canada. And my mother, we lived in the United States, so we would have to drive north to go to Canada. And whenever we pulled up to their place there in rural Canada, he would be sitting out on the lawn in an aluminum lawn chair with a big sign that said Yankees go home. And comically, comically, we have a family group discussion on Facebook where we just all talk back and forth. And we were literally just talking about that sign yesterday, the Yankees go home sign, which was really funny,
Oh, I love that. I
just
love that.
really, really funny.
Where did he lived on Crown Land? Like he brought me to Ottawa, but it wasn't Ottawa. It was somewhere like
No, he
it was.
lived um he lived on the Severn River.
Oh,
Okay,
by
on
Graven. Okay, yes.
yes,
Okay,
okay. Yeah,
yeah.
okay. So yeah, so he was in the Muskoka region and very, very, very rural at the time. We had to when I first went up there, there were no roads going back to where
Mhm.
he was. Literally we had to drive a car across a cow pasture to get into his property, and now, it's very developed, but
Right.
yeah. So
And we were just talking about the black flies.
yeah,
Almost when she said about the black flies, because we were
yeah.
just talking about that being up there.
The black flies. Yes, it is black fly
Oh my
season.
gosh, that's so good.
Absolutely.
Good
You know,
evidence there, Effie. Good
yeah,
job.
that was fabulous. But Effie, I have to go back to you and ask you because I know our YouTube audience is dying to know this. When you receive information, your flow is just so, uh, it almost looks to me like you are like an actress, reading a play
Okay.
that has been written down, and I know that you're not, you know, but you're so fluid in the way that you speak, and so I have to ask, how does that information come to you? How does
Well, I'm going
that
to be
work?
transparent because it's been a while. I haven't read for a couple of weeks.
Oh,
So,
wow, we'd never know.
so, it's not transparent to me. It's just like Rene said it beautifully, and Shore said it beautifully today. Being in this group and the energy help, the support and the love. Uh, what I do, what comes is like a movie screen. And then clairvoyantly they start to come in. But I know right now it's very clairvoyant because I'm not grounded. I'm not in a place of being in the zone completely. But when I start to move back into that place, the clairvoyant leaves and it's more clairsentience. So I'm just feeling, and I know that when I'm feeling and I'm pausing, that they'll drop a picture to help me with what they're trying to communicate. So that's how it is. It's just seeing a movie screen, but as the movie screen eventually will start to disperse, I'll just start to feel, and it's in my body. Where is it in my body that I'm feeling? And they'll combine it with some pictures to help with unfolding the story. So that's why it looks to you like a story or like a script, because I'm feeling into all the pictures, what I'm feeling. And then when I can't get it, it's complicated. A picture will drop in and start to help me unfold what they're trying to communicate. This actual reading was fully clairvoyant because I haven't practiced in quite some time. But knowing from experience, a sure setting, I think Rene said it too. I know Muskoka. I'm in Canada. I'm up north. I know a lot about Ontario, Quebec, all the provinces. So they used what I knew best. And they knew that I would know. They knew that I could feel, because what I saw today is how I feel about certain places of my cottage. I know when I'm out there alone and I get up exactly early in the morning, like Shore's background picture, and go out in the canoe. And that's all I want to do in the kayak, as Rene said in her story, is listen to those loons. And it is the most incredible feeling when you are out there alone and just hearing this and just being in that zone. It drops you right down. There's nothing else in the world that matters at that time. It's just, and that is with being with God to me also, being with Source, and one of the most beautiful places in my heart in the entire world.
Wow. I agree. There's nothing like being out there when, and I have to clarify that most of the time during the day, you hear boats. You always hear power boats. But when you get up before those boats, hit the water, then all you hear is
Those, and then when you see them too with their babies coming by from a
yeah,
distance, you're just captivated.
yeah, yeah.
There's nothing more beautiful. And the colors, because they have these teal and green colors on them, that's so striking. And that's all you need. You realize at that exact moment, there's nothing in life that we need more than just being right here at this moment in nature with God's surroundings.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay.
I
Well,
was going to say the same thing as Carol said, Effie. I'm just mesmerized with your readings, the flow, as if you were right in that cabin describing things around, like fishing rod and stuff.
And that
yeah.
I have that at my cottage.
Oh,
I have exactly that at my cottage. I have the fishing rod. They were sharing the fishing rods my kids have had since they were 5 years old, still up there.
Okay.
And when you walk in, there's a frog on the fridge. The same frog since their father's younger years has been there since 1979. That's
Like all those cabins
no
up
one
there.
dare is going to take that frog down because that's a memory.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't matter how old it is, how dirty it is, that frog is staying on that fridge
No.
because
Okay.
that's nostalgia.
But isn't that interesting that like to some extent you and I actually have the same memories, of
Yes. Yeah.
of that whole area, which I
And
think
let's say
helps
it
too.
wasn't Muskoka, Carol, it was in British Columbia or it was in the United States or it was another country. They would still use Muskoka to help with the reading to unfold it because they
Okay.
would know there's something there. And that would be the best way for me to share the story. Memories. And for you, probably right now, memories in your family that's important to you. Family members that you've had to let go of or had to have some ties cut because you put your heart and soul into some things you had to find your own peace and walk away and find your own truth, find your own love and know, be Carol.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
Carol. Yeah, it's all there.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, thank you. That was
You're welcome.
fabulous. I'm gonna go see if I can grab somebody here and uh like we've been talking about all morning long. I'm not in the zone, but I'm going to get in the zone and see who I can see here. And I'm going to ask, we'll follow Rene's tip today, okay? And I'm going to ask for somebody to come in for somebody who needs to hear.
I'd love to hear from John.
Okay. Now, stop it. I'm going to ask Spirit for whoever is most important. So let's see, Ellen, I need to start my clock. There we go.
And Sage is rooting you on.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. All right. Well, this is random because the very first thing that I see is the opening, or I guess it's the finale scene from La Cage aux Folles, okay, which if anybody knows that, that's the Broadway play and movie about the gay men, okay, and there's like feathers and all this stuff going on, but right now it's kind of eye-popping. So let me lean into this and see who's here. Okay, now there's a man stepping in here who I feel like he may have been gay, but he was not overt about it. Okay, does anybody understand a gay man in spirit? If not a gay man in spirit, does anybody have a gay man living?
Yeah, I have a gay man living.
Yes, me too, Karen. There's so many.
You do? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Okay, let me lean into it. Okay, would anybody be aware of would either of your gay men who are living have a friend that you would be aware of who left the earth prematurely because of his lifestyle? That makes sense.
Yes.
You understand this, Effie?
Yeah, a friend.
Okay. This may not be a good, well, you know something, for whatever reason, you need to hear this. So I'm going to continue on with this. Okay, but for the benefit of our YouTube audience, this is a friend of a friend. So this is correct,
Yes,
Effie?
exactly.
A friend of a
A
friend?
friend of a friend. Yes, exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And it was his birthday this week. I'm just looking it up.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this might explain why this man is coming in. All right. So I feel that an element of like defiance, first of all, with this man, and almost kind of like an undercurrent of bitterness that I want to sort out because I'm trying to figure out also the connection between him and your friend and what, and it feels to me like the connection between these two men was very close. Would you understand that?
Yes. Yeah.
They were very close. Okay. And now, so what Spirit is telling me is that the your friend who is surviving was, of the two of them, the more, he's using the term rational, and I don't think that's the right word. Okay. I feel like the gentleman who is in spirit was he had a kind of like a devil may care attitude toward life, and your friend
Like,
is more prudent. Would that make sense?
yes. Yes, my friend is much more prudent than
Okay, all
his
right.
friend is. Yes.
Yeah, so he's talking about them butting heads about this difference in viewpoint, okay, with respects to the world and things that they did.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely.
Okay. Although he's saying that this he's saying that he should have listened to his friend. Okay. But um he's got a very self-destructive streak in him. Like he what he wanted to do was he wanted to like blaze across the heavens. Okay. Basically be a bright and shining light. And he did not care about the, shall we say, cost of fuel to make that happen. Okay. His intention was to burn as brightly as he could. Okay. So would you understand him putting all his energy and all his resources into like a brief period of time? Would that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Something like that. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is strange. But and he wants you to tell his friend that he was happy with that. Okay. He was happy with that. And he feels like he did. He says if he had the opportunity to do it again, he'd do it all over again. Okay. The same thing. Okay. And he's saying that people remember him. Okay. Because of this burning bright. Um, and he would rather have done that, just been brilliant for a brief period of time than um, be dull for a long period of time, he says. and and when he says that, I think he's taken kind of like a wink at his friend, okay, who is surviving, okay, just um, meant in affection, okay, but he's kind of kidding his friend that his friend is just not as interesting as he was. Would that make sense?
I'd say he's not interesting. He's more prudent.
Okay,
You
well,
said it perfectly.
I'm just the messenger. I'm laughing. Okay. It's talking about the value of friendship. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And he's talking about you can tell who your really good friends are, okay, by the ones who if you kill somebody, they'll be the ones who help you hide the bodies. And he's
Yeah.
just
That'd be him.
yeah, kind of joking about this, okay, but you know, uh and he's expressing a little bit of regret and saying that he knows that he let some people down. All right. He's saying that he let some people down, but he's not talking about family here, interestingly. He's talking more in the friend tier. Like there were people who were relying on him or looking up to him, okay,
Mhm.
as kind of a mentor. All right. And he's saying that he let those people down. That makes sense to you?
I understand it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He loved music, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Um, I feel a whole performance thing with him. Okay. And while I'm not sure that he had like he literally sang, I feel like maybe he
He was a
he
singer.
sang. Okay, he
Yeah.
sang. Okay. But did he also like pretend to sing? Okay, like
Yeah. There's a joke about
lip
that.
sync.
There's a joke about this.
Okay, that about the lip syncing. Okay, that's what I'm
Yeah.
getting. Lip sync.
There is a joke about this.
Okay, all right. Did he butt heads with a neighbor that you're aware of?
I wasn't
Complain.
sure.
Okay, he's complaining about a female who hated him for who he was. Okay. Uh, He's such an interesting man. But all in all, I'm going to say,
It is interesting.
yeah, he's had very complex. Okay, and
Yes.
before he goes, okay, I'm going to say come back, okay, because we want to talk to you again, if that's all right, and learn more about you. But because like, unfortunate for our YouTube audience, sometimes 10 minutes is too short to get the full story on somebody. Um, I don't think this is real, but it's a great image. So I'm going to say it. So he's presenting himself in this full length white ermine cape, like Liberace had. Okay. And it's just, and he picks up this cape with this great flourish like this and swirls it around. Okay. But it's just meant for drama. That's all, and
Yes.
he's
Yeah.
there's a lot of drama. Okay. Just a wonderfully fun guy.
He was a lot of fun. Yes.
Yeah, just a wonderful, wonderful man. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get a message from him real quick. Um, he's talking about seniors and juniors. Does seniors and juniors make any sense to you?
Not
No?
right now.
No? Okay, all right. I'm just gonna throw it out there, but he's pointing his finger at you and tell you practice, practice, practice. Okay, and then
Oh, yeah.
what about his friend though? Do you have anything to say to your friend? And for his friend, okay, the male that he was closest to, um, he's saying that he already knows. He already knows. Okay. And so he does not feel compelled to share it in this environment, but he's, wants you to tell his friend that he already knows what he wants to say. Okay. And I'm going to leave that with light and love. And thank you for letting me serve spirit. And thank you for letting me meet you. You're fabulous. So,
Oh, yeah. He's an interesting spirit, definitely.
oh,
So he
yeah.
doesn't come around. So I want to say this man was a musician.
Okay.
And he is a friend of a friend. He may come back, so we'll share the exact relationship. His life was exactly how you shared it. So much more to dig when if he comes
Brief,
back
brief
about
and
his
glorious.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. His his friend that I know, that's the relation. That's how I knew him, was from a friend, was exactly the opposite. Of
Mhm.
and there is a joke where, well, he's often on stage singing. So he's all used to being on stage. So him, it's he's a natural. But there was this joke one night, my friend and I listening to him sing, and we asked, "Is he lip singing?" I don't know what this.
Oh,
Is he
really?
tired? Did he? And I think that night. I feel like I don't remember. I think he was that night because he was exhausted. But he does sing. He does have a beautiful voice.
Wow.
I don't know if
Okay.
his voice was cracked or there was a cold that night, but he
Okay.
was lip singing that night 'cause something was going on with his vocal cords, and so that was the lip singing, and we were going, "Oh my gosh!"
Okay.
So,
That I heard
because
lip
we knew
syncing
him.
there, and I was like,
Yeah,
what?
it was funny. It was funny going, ask him, and then he goes, yes, he goes, and then you could see his voice was cracking. Hit a bad cold.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. All right. Oh, well, I hope he comes back in because he was really interesting
Yes.
to me. So thank you for that. Well, he was an interesting, fellow to me, but to go back to our YouTube audience and, kind of like talk about what happened there. All right. So I was like in the same position that Shore was. I didn't have anybody. All right. And I asked Spirit to send me somebody who had an important message. And Rene asked for somebody specific to come in, but Spirit overruled me, or overruled Rene, okay, and sent that man, okay, because even though, okay, and this is the question that I have for you, Effie, okay, even though um, that man's a friend of a friend and he's far out, okay, was his appearance here important enough, do you think, that um,
Or the friend is one of my best friends.
The friend
So
is one of
we're
your best friends. Okay, so why would
today.
Spirit send that guy first?
So yeah, that's something you have to sense into. What was the first thing you felt?
Um, the first thing that I felt was defiance. Defiance. Okay.
Hmm.
And just kind of like an I don't give a attitude.
Yeah,
Okay.
defiant. That would be him. I can definitely see that. Definitely. He's
Okay.
going to do what he wants to do with defiance, without harming other people. That will be him. Yes.
Okay. All right. So, well, okay. So
Yes.
we're just gonna have to report back to our YouTube audience and let them know, you know, um, what happened, as a result of that reading. So, pass that along to your friend who
Oh,
has
yes, she'd be
survived.
very happy.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, good. Super, super. Okay. All right. Well, I'll throw another question out here. Okay. So, um, let's talk about my use of the word gay. All right. What do you guys think? I'll start with Effie. Would you have used a different word? What would you?
I would, this would be, I did struggle at the beginning because if I felt they were lesbian or gay, today I just use one word, gay. It's both, covers female and male.
Okay.
It's widely known, one, they're not heterosexual, they're homosexual. There's a
Hmm.
proper word.
Hmm.
Um, to say if they are, they are. That's evidence. It's very good evidence
Mhm.
if they are.
Okay.
Um, but why not? Like I know in Canada here, it's legal. It's widely. It's no big deal to us.
Well,
It's
yeah, and I have a reason
yeah.
for asking, but I'm going to throw it out to everybody before I'll tell you why I'm asking. Okay,
Mhm.
so I'll pick on shore. Okay.
Oh, by the way,
Ye-
sorry, Carol. The person I first thought you had
uh-huh.
was gay.
Mhm.
Nobody knew about it. It was a secret.
Okay.
That it was a family secret, and no one was supposed to talk about it. That I can see.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well,
Mhm.
and so this is why I'm bringing it up. Okay. So sure. Okay. Um, you know, have you encountered a spirit who you felt was gay? And if so, how did you handle it?
Yeah, actually, it did. I recall one incident where a gay person came in, but the thing is, this friend of his living took it very, very nicely, emotionally.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, every bit where there is a need for a message to be given, it will certainly come through.
Okay.
The, no matter what label you put on it, as long as the person understands, the person connected to the spirit understands, is all that matters.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter uh, what other people like YouTube audience or people who are not connected in any way uh, with the gays. It matters to the person that the spirit came through for,
Mhm.
and that's all should always matter.
Right. Right.
Because the soul is soul, spirit is spirit, and everybody has come here to learn specific lessons.
Yeah.
It's like they signed on the dotted line, before coming here, spiritual
Yeah.
dotted line.
Yeah.
So it's nothing good, nothing bad about that.
Okay.
It's
All
just
right.
a fact of life, fact of spirit. It's fact of growth that
Okay.
everybody needs to go through. Yeah.
All right. Well, like I said, I'll tell you why I asked, but I'm going to weigh in with Rene first and ask you. Okay, using the word gay, what do you think?
Yes, because I have used that before, and like Effie says, it can go either way for male or female.
Okay. All right. Well, now I'll tell you the reason why I asked. Okay, and the reason why I asked was I was actually witness to a reading where the medium identified the spirit as being gay, and it was the first thing that she said. And the sitter took great offense to her using the word, okay, and he said, no, nobody would identify themselves as a gay man.
Yeah, they will.
Well, and
They are, they will.
that was my experience.
Yeah,
Okay, that was the first thing
experience.
that spirit said to me. Okay,
Yeah.
was he very definitely let me know that he was gay, but but I threw that question out there because I'd had that experience where I saw or was in a meeting where the sitter who was given the reading took great offense to the
Yeah.
medium using that word. And I've thought about that, and the only thing that I could think of, and it's funny because while I was doing that reading, I was thinking about that experience, and I thought, the only thing that I can do is try to bring in just the essence of this man, okay, and some of his good and some of his bad, and maybe some golden nuggets like the lip syncing, who knows, but try to bring his essence in, to know that like his sexuality like was not who defined him, okay, that was not who defined him, and that was what I was shooting for in that reading, and I'm hoping that I did a good job of that. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, okay, all right, well, great session, guys. Okay, I think we had fun here today, and I want to thank y'all for coming on this morning, and also thank our YouTube audience for joining us this morning. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here today, please hit like and subscribe on our channel, and you'll be notified of our upcoming live streams automatically. We're here every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can watch all of our old videos on our channel. They're on demand. So, but I'm going to go ahead and close this down with a prayer. If everyone would join me, please. Holy Father, Mother God, thank you for allowing us to come together today in service of Spirit. Thank you for this gift of mediumship that you have given us, and allow us to use this precious gift to help others who need your healing and love. Bless our friends and loved ones and protect them from sickness and harm. Bring joy into the lives of people who have sorrow, health into the lives of people who have illness, and abundance to the lives of people who have little. Thank you for the lessons that you've given us today, and help us to continue to build a relationship with you that is based on love and trust. And always, please help us to be the lights that change this world for the better. Amen. All right. Thanks again. Okay. Hope to